Hello friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel DS Tech Mirror. In today's video, we will see how to use taxonomy control in SharePoint framework. Just like people picker control, to use taxonomy in SharePoint framework, we will use PNP SPFX control. To start with, as a first step, first of all, we will install PNP SPFX control in my SharePoint framework web part. The command for installing PNP SPFX control is npm install add pnp /spfx control -react -save -exec. So this is my command which I will use to install my PNP SPFX control. Then as a next step, what I will do, I will be installing PNP.js because I will be using PNP.js to set the value of my taxonomic control to the SharePoint list column. But before jumping into the Visual Studio, let's do some background work. So friends, as a first step, what I will do, I will be creating one term set which I will be using. So to create a term set, what you have to do, just go to your site settings. From the site settings, under site administration, click on term store management. In the term store management, either you can create a new group by clicking on this term group, or you can select any of the existing term group and create a term set. So what I will be doing, I will be using this existing group, that is the custom one, and I will create a new term set. I will name this term set as demo. This is done, and now I will create term inside this demo. So to create the term, I will right click, create term. So my first term will be, let's say, SPFX. So these are just the dummy values which I will be using in my demo today. Next value I will keep Power Automate. I will create 4 values over here. Okay, so guys, I am making one mistake over here. I don't want to create this Power Automate inside the Power SPFX. So I will delete this term and I have to select the SPFX only. Sorry, demo only. So I will right click on demo so that it comes in the same hierarchy as SPFX. And next is Power Automate, and next two values will be Power Apps and Power BI. These are just the demo values. You can create term set as per your requirement. So I am done with my term set. So guys, in today's video, we will be covering both single value and multi-value taxonomy control. So to cover that, what I will be doing now, using this term set, I will create 2 columns in my SharePoint list, manage metadata column, and these 2 columns, one column will be single value, other column will be multi-value, and we will see how we can handle both these columns. So I will go to my list. I have this list called test list. In this list, I will create 2 columns. So to create a column, what I will do, I will click on add column and I will click on more. From here I will get the manage metadata column. So this is my manage metadata. So first column name I will keep single value. This is just the sample columns, and over here from the term set, this is my taxonomy. I have created my term set under custom. So this is my term set, that is demo. So I will select demo, and over here I have to select that I have already unchecked this value, allow multiple values. So I will keep it unchecked because this is my single column. So I will click on OK. So one column I have created, that is single value. I will create one more column, that is multi-value. Again I will click on more. I will select manage metadata, and this time my column name will be multi-value. So I will remove this hyphen also, multi-value. This time I will check this allow multiple values, and similar to the first column I will select my term set under custom demo, and I am done. So this was the background work which I want to do before I start with my Visual Studio Code. So guys, now I will jump into my Visual Studio Code. I have created this solution, that is my SPFX web part using React. So now I will open the solution in my Visual Studio Code. So this is my new solution. I will just run the gulp serve just to show you, like, nothing at this moment, nothing is in my web part, and then we will start with the development. So let's wait for gulp serve to get completed. So my gulp serve is completed and my web part is opening in local workbench, but I will open my web part in SharePoint workbench as I need SharePoint context which is not available in the local workbench. So what I will do, I will just open my SharePoint workbench. So this is my SharePoint workbench. Now I will add my web part in this. My web part name is, let's go to the Visual Studio and see under source web part. My web part name is taxonomy control. So I will expand it and I will add my web part. So I will directly go for the T. I cannot see the web part. I will refresh my page. Gulp serve is ready, and now I can see this web part taxonomy controls. So guys, you can see this is my web part. So now I will start with the development. So as I told you, as a first step, I will install the PNP SPFX control. To do that, I will copy this command from here and I will install it. For that, I will stop this gulp serve and now I will run this command. This will install the PNP SPFX controls. As the next step, after completing this command, I will install the PNP.js. It just I want to complete all my installation at once and then I will start with the coding. Guys, PNP SPFX control installation is completed. Now I will install the PNP.js command. Those who are following my videos regularly, they must be familiar with this command because now quite often I am installing the PNP.js. If you are not aware, you can copy this command from here and right click, and now I will install the PNP.js. I will wait for PNP.js to get completed and then we'll start with the coding. Now my PNP.js installation is also completed and now I will just run the gulp serve so that it keep running in the background. I can see the changes in the browser. And now I will jump into my Visual Studio Code. This is my Visual Studio Code. Now as a first step, what I will do, I will just do the basic settings which I want to do in my React web part and which I have already explained multiple times in my this tutorial series. Those who are new to this video, they can refer my this SPFX tutorial series and then they will be quite aware about all the concepts. Over here I will be directly making all the changes. So as a first step, what I will do, this is my component file. Over here I will create one state interface. I will be needing that and I will name my interface as iTaxonomy controls state.ts, and I will just copy this code from here, properties, and I will just paste it in my interface so that it will be easy for me to make the changes. So over here I will paste it. I will make the change over here. This is my state interface, and over here I will declare the property whenever I will need it. And now what I will do in this property, I will create another property that is context of type web part context, because I need to pass the web part context. And how we do it, that I have already explained multiple times in my tutorial. So the web part context is only available in my web part ts file. I will go to the web part ts file over here and I will pass it from here. This is my context, and from here it is giving me error because I have to pass the property from here. So this is my context and this dot context. So now I passed the context. This is done, and now I will go to the component tsx file. In this file, what I will do over here, I will create one constructor, and before creating the constructor I will import my state over here, state interface. For that, what I will do again, I will copy this and I will just make the changes, so it will make my work easy. Dot backslash, sorry, let me just select it again, dot backslash, and this is my state. This is done, and over here I will just change the class name as state. So guys, this is also done, and now what I will be doing, I will pass the state from here so that I can use in my render method iTaxonomy state, comma. This is done, and now I will initialize the constructor. I will write my constructor, and in the constructor I have to make the super call, and in this super call I have to pass my properties. So properties will be of type iTaxonomy props, and from here I will pass my constructor. Let me just do it from here, super, and this is also done. And now over here I will keep initializing the state whenever it is required. So I will initialize my state over here. Now I will go to the render method. I will remove some extra div which I don't need. So this is my divs. I don't need all this stuff and I will remove it. And inside this I will create another custom column and I will name it as my custom. That's it. So guys, this is done, and now my groundwork is ready. And now what I will do, I will start with the development for the taxonomy. So now as a first step, what I have to do, I have to import the taxonomy control so that I can use it. So for that I will write import, and from where I have to import it, from the PNP SPFX control. So what I will do, at PNP /SPFX SPFX control React. So guys, I am getting the IntelliSense over here, which make our work relatively very easy. Slash library slash, and over here you can see all the controls. So from here I will select my taxonomy, and you can see over here taxonomy picker, and over here I will select, let me select taxonomy picker, and now I can use the taxonomy picker. So now what I will do, inside this div I will write this taxonomy picker. So you can see taxonomy picker and done. So now it is giving me an error. So all those who are following me regularly, they must be aware what I will do as my next step. So now it is giving me an error. It is giving me an error because I have to write few properties related to this control. So for that, what I will do, I will just click on F12, and now I will go to this its property, iTaxonomy picker properties. I will again click on F12, and now I am inside this interface, taxonomy picker properties. Now it is giving us an error because we have not implemented the required properties. So we will see over here what are all the required properties, and we will implement it. So as a required property, I can see label, panel title. If there is a question mark, that means it's an optional, we can leave it. So over here there are couple of more property as compared to other control. Over here you can see label, panel title, context, term set name or ID. So around there are 4 properties which are mandatory, which we have to write over there. So let's go and we will do step by step. So we will see first as label, property field label displayed on top. So I'll say label. So I will go to this over here and I will say label, and I will name it as single value so that it is easy for me to just to demonstrate that this is the implementation for the single value and this is the implementation for the multi-value. Because in the coding, when we will be setting the value in the SharePoint list, there's a change in the code. That's why I have created 2 different controls. So single value, this is done. One was context, so we can over here just set it as context this dot props dot context. So this is done, and now let me see some other values. One was term set, another name was some term set name or ID. Okay, over here we have to give term set name or ID. So my term set name was demo. If you remember, just in the beginning of the video I have created this term set, so I will give the name demo. I can give name or ID, so I will give the name demo. And now I think I'm left with one more property. Let me go to the properties interface and I will see from there. So panel title is left, term set picker panel title. So let me just give the panel title, and I will name it as select term. And now what I will do, I will control S. So and now Gulf service is already running in the background, and now let me see in the browser, and now we will see in the browser what actually is appearing for us, and based on the outcome we will start making changes and we will proceed further. So Gulf service is already running, so it is completed. I will go to my web part in the SharePoint workbench. This is my local workbench. I will close it. This is my SharePoint workbench. Let me refresh my web part to see the changes. So guys, you can see this is my taxonomy control. I can see in my web part. So let's see how it will work. Over here you can see single value. Go to the Visual Studio Code. So label is single value. Okay. Then context. Okay, it is getting the web part context, term set and name or ID. Demo I have given, so it should it should get the value from the demo term set, and panel title select term. So we will see where this select term will be available. So let me click on this button over here, and you can see this panel will get open, and over here you can see this select term. That's why this property name is panel title. So from here I will select the my term value. So over here you can see this was my term set and it is picking all the values. So as a first step, my taxonomy control, my taxonomy picker is working completely fine. So as a first step we are successfully completed. Now let me select the value from here and save. So it is saving the value. Now it is you can't see the value because we have to make few changes in the CSS, which is out of scope for this video, because I have already covered in my past videos how you can make changes for that, how you can style your web part. But if I have to show you quickly what I will do, I will make change in my browser and I will show you. This is, so you can see I have selected the Power App, so you can see Power App is available. So this is done, and now what I will do, now I will now I will create another control and its name will be multi-value. So let me just do that. What we will do, I will copy this as it is over here. I will paste it and I will make changes in this. Instead of single value, this will be multi-value. Okay, context is same, term set is name, panel title, everything is same. We have to implement one more value, that is there anything related to the multiple values? Allow multiple selections, yes, and that will be true. And in this I will make allow multiple selection, and that I will make it as false. So guys, this is done. Again, I have saved my web part, Gulf service already running, and then we will see these two changes, and then we will proceed further. As a next step, we will set that value of the whatever the value we will select from the taxonomy picker, we will set in my SharePoint list. So I've already created two columns in my SharePoint list. My SharePoint list is test. In that I have created two columns, single value and multi value. So we will see that. So Gulf service completed. It is giving us a message to reload. I will go back, I will reload my web part, and you can see both the controls are available. Let me select this one. This is save. I can see Power Apps is selected. Again, I will select this Power Automate, and it is not selecting the value because it is single value. Now let me just go to this multi-value. I will select three values, and you can see it is working. All the three values are getting selected. So guys, as a first step, both the controls are working fine in the web part, that is single value and multi-value. And now we will cover how we can set this value to my SharePoint list. For that, what I will do, I will be creating a button over here, and on button click I will handle that method. I will be using Office UI Fabric button. For that I will import it at the top, import from Office UI Fabric React, and over here I will say button. Okay, let me just use it over here, then we will see for that error if it will give us an error. So button, and this is fine. Label we will give as submit, and then we will implement the on click method over here. So now it is not giving us an error. Let me just write the method also, on click, and over here let's write a method. We will say public method. My method name will be submit data, and over here I will say this dot. Let me just save it. So my method name is submit data, and I will say on click this dot. It is not giving me an IntelliSense because of the syntax error. It is not gonna work like this. This is like this dot submit data. So now everything is fine. As a last step, what I have to do, I have to bind this method with this keyword. So I have two options. Either I can write it as an arrow function. I have already covered arrow function previously, so this time I will bind it with this. So what I have to do, this dot submit data is equal to this dot submit data dot bind this. So guys, this is important step. If you miss this step, this method is not gonna work. So now everything is fine. From here I have to just implement the submit data. So now let's just see the web part again. So Gulf service is running. Let's wait for it to complete it. Reload. Okay, it's fine. I'll go and refresh my page, and this is done. So guys, before Gulf serve, let me just implement one more change just to make it easy for you, because we saw like the selected terms are not visible inside the taxonomy picker. So let me just quickly make the changes for the SCSS, although I don't want to cover it in this video because I've already covered, but still, so for that I will directly copy paste the code. So guys, this is the code which I have pasted. This is my button, dot button, simple, border radius, margin left, margin top, and for the taxonomy picker you have to do this global, and inside this this is the class which is there, and you have to just give the color as black so that it is available. So this is simple. This is just the CSS. If you want, I'm just waiting for a moment, I'm just waiting for 30 seconds so that you can absorb this code. This is a simple code. Okay, now I will move forward. I will control save, and now I'll go to the TCX. Everything is fine. Okay, in this label is fine. I have to give the text only will be available. Button text will be, that is submit. And now I will go and see the changes, and then we'll start with the submitting data code, how we can submit the code. See for the Gulf serve, okay, it is working fine. There was some error because I was making some changes. Now it is fine. Reload. Let's go and see, refresh the web part. Okay, I can see this button is available. Okay, fine. And I can, if let me just select the value. Okay, so now you can clearly see the selected value. Now it is available. If I select multiple values over here, they are getting selected. If I want to select multiple values for single value, it will it's not allowing me. Over here you can see, if I'll select power apps, so it is reactive. The moment you will select over here, it will get refresh. It will not wait for you to save. Click on save button. So it is working absolutely fine. Okay guys, now we'll go forward and we'll see how we can work with the code. So guys, now we will, first of all, we will select the single value taxonomy picker. So guys, over here I will be making use of PNP.js. I've already installed the PNP.js. So now I'll go forward over here and I'll start coding over here. So we'll start with, so before starting with the PNP.js, I have to import it at the top. So I will go import sp from add pnp / sp / preset / all. So now I'm all set to use the PNP.js in my code. So this is my submit data. I will start. So sp.web.lists.get by title. My list title is test. I have kept it very simple so that it is easy to remember. Dot, I have to add an item, that is my taxonomy picker. Dot items dot add, and I am starting with my single value. So over here I will add the items dot then, and it will give me a message. So the syntax for the then I have already explained you in detail, but over here again what you have to do, just then two brackets, an arrow function and curly bracket. From here you will say, if you are getting anything written from this, then you can take it over here. Otherwise directly you can say alert item submitted successfully. So this is done, and now over here I will write my body. So as a first column I will select the title. In the title I will say single value taxonomy picker. Okay, done. And as a next value I will say my next value is single value. And guys, now I have a challenge, how I will get the value from the taxonomy picker. Now over here you are selecting the value. Now I have to get this value in my code. How I will get the value? Because I will read the value from this picker, the value which you have selected, and I will set it over here, and then my code will submit it to the SharePoint list. So the only challenge remaining is how we will read the value from the taxonomy picker. So for that, what we will do, over here in this we have a method called onChange. So what I will do, I will use this method onChange, and I'll say this dot get single value. This is my method name. Okay, and I will implement another method over here. At the top of this method I will call it as public method, and I will say get single value. Now this is done. Now to know more in detail about the syntax of onChange, I will again go to this taxonomy picker properties interface. This is iTaxonomy control properties. No, sorry, this is my web part properties. This is the interface, and okay, I think I have closed it. So again I will click on F12, and it is available over here. So you can see the parameters are new value, and it is of type iPicker term. So guys, just remember this, new value and type is iPicker term. So I will use it. I will go to my web part. Okay, let me go to the web part, and this is my tsx file over here, and over here I will get the value. The moment onChange, whenever the value will get changed, this method will get triggered. This method return as the value. I will say value, it is of type iPicker term. iPicker term, because I got this message from here, it will be of type iPicker terms, and automatically it will get imported over here the moment I used it. So it got imported. So now I got the value. Now I want to save that value, and I will use it in my submit data. To save the value, I will use the power of React, that is state. So what I will do, I will create another property in my state interface, and I will create that value as single value and of same type iPicker terms, and automatically it will get imported over here also at the top. So this is done. Now I have imported the state also, and now over here, okay, I have to set it. that is single value, and I will set it as an empty array. So this is also fine. Over here we have initialized the state value also, so everything is done. Now I want to read the value from this. So I am having the value in this value variable. I will read the selected term set value, exactly term value. Term set is the complete term set, that is demo. I will read the value of the selected term, and now what I will do, I will directly put this dot set state, and my state is single value, and I will set it with value. So guys, this is done. Okay, it is giving me some kind of an error. It is giving me an error because my single value type is iPicker terms, I remember. Okay, I have to go to the state. So this is my state, it is iPicker terms. And let me close this also. Let me close the SCSS file also, but okay, I will leave it two files, and over here it is iPicker terms. So let me just change it, iPicker terms, done. So now it will work. Okay, so now we are all set, but before setting the value in the submit data, I want to show you what I will get in the value in this method. I will also rename, instead of value, I will call it as selected term. Okay, yeah, this is a better term, selected term. So now what I will do, I will show you in the browser. I will do console.log, and I want to show you what value I will get in my selected term, how it will come, and how we have to interpret it. So let me just do it. Selected term, this is fine, and how it will get trigger on change. Gulp service running. Once it get completed, then I will show you, and then we are only left with setting the value in my submit data. So and that's it. Then we will be able to submit the value to the SharePoint list. This is done. Now I will go and refresh my web part. This is also done. I will open my browser. I will go to the console. I will clean everything from here. Now I will select the value, and you will see as soon as I select the value, see, and I am getting this. You forget about this error for now. Forget about this dot set is not a function. Forget everything. Just see what I'm getting in the in this. Over here I'm getting an array. In the array I have few properties, say name, power apps. I'm getting the key also, and path, and term set. So all these things I'm getting, and now we will use this. So we will use this to set the value. So I just want to show you how it will appear to you. So this is an array. So this is fine. And guys, for related to this array, this dot set is not a function. Why we are getting this error? Because we have not binded get single value with the this keyword. So like this way. So what we do, this dot, for every method, either we will use this arrow function, or we have to bind it with this. In this demo I will be binding it with this, and in my next demo I will be using arrow function. So this dot get single value is equal to this dot get single value dot bind this. So now this is also done, and now we are getting the value also. Now we will see how we will use this, how we will set the value in my submit data. So guys, over here there's a certain way how we set the value of the taxonomy picker to the SharePoint list. So we'll do that. Over here what I'll do, it's a single value. So let me just open this bracket, and now from here first of all I have to do this underscore double underscore metadata, and in this I have to tell the type of my metadata. So again I will say type colon, and name will be sp dot taxonomy field value, because we are setting the field value, taxonomy field value. Just be careful with the spelling, with the typo. This is done, and now as a next step, now I will set the label, then I will set the term guide. So you can see in the browser I show you our array, that selected term value, it is having name and key. So we will use both of them. So what I will do, in the label I will set this dot state dot single value. I'll just say it's an array and it is having only single value, so I'll say dot 0 dot name. So this is fine. Then I'll set the term guide, because every term is having a guide, and we got it in the form of key. Over here you can see this is my term guide. I will set it term guide this dot state dot single value dot key. This is done, and last value is the WSSID. You can set it to -1 or 4, both will work. So I have worked with -1, so it is working for me, and it should work now also. So guys, that's it. We are done with the coding, and now it should work. So first of all, what I will do, I will straight away run this code. We will see it is working, and then once again I will explain you the complete flow so that you become familiar with it. So let me see. Okay, my Gulp serve is running. I will wait for it. Gulp serve is completed. Now I'll go to the browser. I will refresh it, and then we will see the changes. This is fine now. So guys, now I will select this single value. I will select from here Power Apps, save and submit. Okay, so it has not given us a message that value submitted successfully, so there's some error. I'll click on F12. Okay, I can see some error. To make it readable, what I will do, I'll clean my console. I will select the value again. See, so this time I will select Power BI. So save it. I can see in the console I can see the selected value, name is Power BI, key is this. Now I will click on submit. Okay, it is giving me an error. Error is the property label does not exist on. Okay, I can see. Okay, let's go to our code, taxonomy, property label. Only on clicking submit we are getting the error. So over here, so guys, you can see because of my typo mistake. So please be careful. Okay, okay, fine. Now I think it is fine, and now again we are good to go. We'll see, now it should work. Hopefully I'm getting some error. Let me see. I think that was an intermittent error just between the moment before I saved it, because Gulp service keep running, because now it is working fine. I have not made any changes. You can see it is working as it is. Now I'll go, I will refresh, and now we'll go and see whether it will work or not. Single value, I'll select Power Apps, fine, submit, and this time we got the message item submitted successfully. Let's see whether item got added into the SharePoint list. This is my list POC, and I will POC is my site, test is my list. I will refresh, and guys, successfully we are able to submit the taxonomy picker value to the SharePoint list. You can see title, single value, taxonomy picker, and value is Power Apps. Now we can test it more. I'll select another value, let's say Power BI, submit, done, go back, refresh, Power BI. So guys, you can see it is working perfectly fine. So we are done with the single value taxonomy picker. So guys, multi-value taxonomy picker is a bit different, a bit complicated. So I will cover it in my second video, which will be continuation of this video only, and you will get that video in a day or two only. I won't take it too long. Before coming to an end of this video, let me just explain you all the concepts again, so that if you have any doubt, it will get clear. So guys, what we did, first of all, we install our PNP SPFX control, and we install the PNP.js. After installing these two things, then I imported my taxonomy picker, because to use any control I have to import it. So I imported from here, import taxonomy picker. We are not using this taxonomy term, so let me just clear it. So this is my taxonomy picker from at SPFX control React library taxonomy picker. So as a first step, I install the PNP SPFX control. As a next step, I install PNP.js because I want to use PNP.js. As a third step, I imported the taxonomy picker control from the PNP SPFX control library, and now then I write this control over here. Now after writing the control, it was giving me an error, and as a best practice, or as my usual practice, I straight away go to the properties file, interface property file of the control, and I from there I try to find the mandatory properties. So as a mandatory property, it was label, context, term set name or ID, and panel title. So I just implemented all this. Label is the value of the label, multi-value. Context, it needs the web part context. Term set name or ID, the term set which you want to work with. In our case, it was demo. Panel title, because when you will click on the button beside the taxonomy picker, a panel will get open and it will show all the values of related to the term set. So panel title, that is select term. So that was there. After that, we want to submit the value to the SharePoint list. So to submit the value to the SharePoint list, I created this button. On click, this was one method. This was this dot submit data, and it was very easy. The simple plain PNP.js code sp.web.list get by title dot items dot add, and over here I submitted the values for the title, but I was not having the value of the selected term in the taxonomy picker. So and then the main challenge was how to read the value from the taxonomy picker. So for that, what I did, I used the onChange event. In the onChange event, I captured the value. Also the syntax related to the onChange I got from my interface, taxonomy picker interface. It told me that it will give me the new value and type will be iPicker term. So straight away I created this method get single value. In this single value I created this variable selected term. It was of type iPicker term, and then to capture the value I created a state, and then over here I set the state, this dot set state iPicker term and selected term. State is also of type iPicker terms only. So guys, be careful, iPicker terms, not term. Then I got the value. Now there was a certain, there's a certain syntax to set the value in the taxonomy picker. So that was, you have to set these certain values. First was metadata, that was hard coding value sp.taxonomy field value. Next was label. All these values you will get from your state only. So single value dot name, from name you will get the label, term guide, key, and WSS ID -1, and that's it. The moment you will click on submit, you can see the values in your SharePoint list. So guys, this is how we'll work with the single value taxonomy picker. In my next video, I will cover how to work with the multi-value taxonomy picker. My next video will be in continuation with this video. So in the next video, I will not cover all these basics. I will straight away jump how to work with the multi-value taxonomy picker. So guys, that's it for today's video. If you like this video, please like and share the video and subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to press the bell icon. If you have any doubts related to this video or any of my previous video, you can reach out to us through our comment section, or you can also reach out to us through our official email ID, that is contactdstechmirror@gmail.com. We have created a group over Facebook for collaboration. You can join that group. Group name is Modern SharePoint. In the description box, you can get the link to the group. You can also follow me on Twitter to get all the updates from the Office 365 world. Till my next video, much love, keep learning.